Meanwhile, a Utah woman found a pretty unique way to work through her grief, and in the process started a business that helps others through their loss.
Yeah, our photojournalist Tracy Smith introduces us to Jackie Stevens, the woman they call the HeadStone Hero.
So my grandparents had passed away, and I would continue to come up and visit them and notice their headstones were looking old and grungy and grown over, and I started cleaning them. It's just been very near and dear to my heart to keep Grandpa's clean. You know, he's been gone since 2006. It keeps the memory of him alive, as well as, you know, his service and what he did for our country. Grandma was like my best friend. She was more than a mom to me. So when she got buried here next to Grandpa, I couldn't bear not having coffee with her. So I'd come up and bring her coffee, and I would continue to clean her headstone as well as Grandpa's. And people would ask, how do you keep it so clean? What do you do? Can you clean ours? I ended up doing it as a side job, as a hobby, as a business. Started taking me to Colorado, to Oregon, to Nevada, all up and down Salt Lake and Utah and the Wasatch Front. It's very therapeutic for me, and I like transforming them and keeping the headstones looking nice so people can read them, as I enjoy coming up and visiting my grandparents or any of my loved ones that have passed. I've really enjoyed keeping them clean and honoring the loved ones for what they did for us while they were here. And this is my kid's dad, and he passed away just this last April. And he and I started this little side business together, and we started here in this cemetery. It makes the grief that I suffer that much less. I just think always giving back to my community or the environment or to a headstone or to a family, it's like getting flowers on Valentine's Day. It just makes you feel so good. I know when you come up to the cemetery, you want to grieve that person. You don't want to spend 2 or 3 hours cleaning the headstone so you can read it. I want them to go to the cemetery and be able to grieve and enjoy and be able to read the headstone, or to see it and it be beautiful for them when they arrive. If the people show up after I've cleaned the headstone and I get to meet them and not just hear the story of their loved one or what happened or the memories, there have been several people that have just totally lost it. Like, they just cry. And some people, it just brings them back to the day that it was laid in the ground, and it makes everything so new again and so fresh. But they absolutely love being able to read the headstone, being able to see it and touch it and know that it's there.
I bet those families really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, so impressive.
Now what's interesting is that Jackie told ABC4 a story about how she found a headstone that had been missing for about 60 years. When she showed the photos to Tracy, who our photojournalist who put this story together, he realized the grave marker belonged to his family.
Doesn't that give you goosebumps? I mean,
Wild.
That's so cool. What are the odds that happens, right? We're going to have that full story for you today on ABC4 News at 5 o'clock.
This morning, we brought you the story of the HeadStone Hero, a woman spending her days caring for gravestones and helping mourners cope with loss. So we sent ABC4's photojournalist Tracy Smith to capture the sights and sounds of the scene there. Well, while working together, he discovered she helped his own family solve a half-century-old mystery. It turned out to be another story altogether. Take a look at this.
I was pretty excited because it's HeadStone Hero, and I just had no idea that the story would take such a turn.
I had a gentleman call me, and he asked me to come up and clean his wife's parents' headstone and her brother. And when we got up here, I met him, and he was showing me the location and telling me what he wanted to have done. And he pointed to this bush and said, and we believe that there's an infant headstone from early 1900s.
Jackie turned around to me and said, hey, here's the headstones that I did at the Magna Cemetery, and she shows them to me, and it's my family.
This is my grandfather's family, his mother and father, and then their grandparents, my great-great-grandparents right here. When I used to come up with my grandfather, you know, it showed a lot of respect for our relatives, and it was an honor to come here.
And the wife only knew that there was an infant that had been buried there in the early 1900s. Find it, we would be appreciative of it, and maybe clean that one.
My brother worked up here with my grandfather, and they knew the headstone was missing.
Nobody knew really who was there.
it was really eerie to me. I'm like, I don't want to dig too deep because they don't really put infants too far into the ground anyways. So I'm like, I'm only going to go until they find some type of concrete. It's so breathtaking and so humbling to be able to bring that stone up. They can now come and mourn the child, the whole family, from years and decades and generations to come, that it's now the headstone's back up where it belongs.
I believe it with all the construction that's happened up here, and you know, the shifting and the sinking of the ground, and you know, the different animals that are present, the gophers and things of that nature. I can see how it could sink.
So excited about some of the things and stories that I've came across in this line of work, and this was one of my favorites. It just gives me the goosebumps and the chills because I'm so excited about it.
This might be the favorite story of the year, because who gets to do a story and have it wind up touching their family?
Just get forgotten and lost, and there it is.